Welcome back to America's Retirement Headquarters. 419-794-3030 is the number. That's 419-794-3030 and online, americasretirementheadquarters.com. Before the break, we talked about, people's big plans when it comes to retirement, spending more time with the grandkids, traveling, going to all 50 states, all the ballparks, things like that. But those are big picture, and that's great, and that's well and good. But what about the more immediacy? Like, what are you going to do for dinner tonight? What are you going to do this weekend? What if you've got guests coming in and you just don't know what's going on in town to entertain them? Well, we're going to turn our eye to the Committed to the 419 segment with the actual guy in the 419, Pat McCarty. So, Pat, welcome to the show. Scott, you guys take it away.
Yes. Thank you very much, Pat, for joining us. Really appreciate it. And I think this is going to be a perfect segment for us because you are the guy in the 419, and we've put this segment together and the second half of our show to help spotlight the people that are making a difference in the 419. And we've had some, several of these nonprofits on and a lot of people on that have really contributed and donated and helped out a lot of the other people in the 419. And how fitting to actually have the guy in the 419 on the show. So, Pat, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. No, it's a pleasure to be here. I love what you guys do. I think it's especially the second half. I think the first half is great.
Thank you.
People need to learn about finances and all that. It's extremely important. But definitely the second one is a very noble cause. Supporting. I mean, everything starts. It begins here, right?
Right.
We can worry about things on the national level all we want, but we really can't do much to change that. But we can change things that are right here, right in our immediate neighborhood, our surrounding community. That's why I just think that when you support local businesses, you support local restaurants, you're supporting people who are really just committed to, like, hey, this is us. This
right.
is,
Right.
So,
and it's special that you hear a lot about the 419. There's all kinds of organizations out there. 419.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter played softball in one of the travel teams. This has been years ago, but one of the travel teams they actually had the name on their shirt was 419 Elite. So there's a lot of things that a lot of people take pride
absolutely
in being part of the 419.
Just when you hear that, when you hear those numbers, and I remember it was probably back in when I first started, it was back in October of 2016. And I had been hearing that the 419 was kind of becoming, and I remember some people were saying, "Oh, you're trying to do like Detroit." I guess I don't know what Detroit's is, but I guess Detroit had that same kind of concept.
Jeremy would know exactly because he's from that area, but they probably did have that same concept.
And basically what it is just it becomes a word of pride. 419. We're 419 proud. We're proud of our area, proud of Northwest Ohio. I think we up in here in the Toledo area, I think we get we forget that there's more to the 419 than just the greater Toledo area.
Sure.
Right? I mean, this is an area that spans all the way from the Indiana state line and then all the way out to just past Sandusky in Huron. And then it goes as far south. If you're staying on 75, Wapakoneta. But if you really want to go to the southernmost point of the 419 area, that's the Salina and St. Mary's.
Oh, sure,
right on
sure,
the lake.
Yeah.
That's the southern. I mean, so it's huge. There are so many places. There are so many cities. There's so many great towns, and I love that. I love the small towns. I love. I've done segments on places like Defiance and Gibsonburg, Delta, Napoleon. Just awesome towns with great shops, great businesses. It's a lot of
fun. So Jenny here in our office, she's our event coordinator. She's actually from Gibsonburg. And I know that town well as well.
Kate Nell's Ideal Bakery, and she knows all those places.
All right. Well, we're going to get into that in a second. But what did you do before you started your guy in the 419?
I was a theology teacher.
Wow.
I got my degree in religious studies, and I taught at St. Ursula for a year. I taught at St. John's for 4 years after that, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. We had 3 kids by this point, and I just you don't make a lot of money as a private school teacher.
Sure.
And so my wife and I were kind of looking at is this something that we can keep affording to do? Mm-hmm. And there are some people that can make it work, and God bless them, it's great. But I thought, do I see myself being a theology teacher, 20 years from now,
Sure.
40 years from now? Or should maybe I explore other options? And boy, I was offered this great job, and I was real excited about it. And I was fired in 2 months. It was awful. It was, I mean, talk about feeling like an absolute failure. I mean, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget. It was awful. I mean, I laugh about it now
Sure.
because it was honestly the best thing that could have happened to me. But I just remember thinking, oh God. And but that kind of led into, I've told this story so many times. My dad and I were sitting down for lunch a few days later. He wanted to cheer me up. He said, let me take you out to lunch. So he said, so what do you think you'll do now? What do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know. At this point, I had my life and health license, right? So I could sell insurance or something like that. And he goes, well, what do you want to do?
Right.
What do you like to do? And I said, well, I have 3 kids. There's nothing that I like to. All my time is with them. But the more I thought about it, I said, well, all right, I guess if there was one hobby I have, it's I make videos. I always had fun making videos and then putting them up online.
Sure.
For my own entertainment, really. And he said, well, do that then. I said, I can't. That's not going to make any money. He said, don't worry about making money. Just do something that's going to make you happy right now. This was beginning of October. And you can actually still find these on YouTube. They're awful. I was literally just taking my phone and making these little videos that just of random things to do throughout the day. Mm-hmm. One of the days I happened to take my kids over to the new library in Sylvania.
Okay.
And I made a video of that. And about a week later, somebody came up to me and said, oh, yeah, hey, I saw your video on the library. Took my kids over there. That place is great. And I thought, you saw one of my videos and that encouraged you to go out. I said, that's okay. So what if I, instead of just doing random videos, what if the videos were now focused on going out to different local restaurants, mm-hmm. local events in the area, letting people know, like, hey, here's this cool spot. Maybe you've never heard of it. And so then somebody had suggested to me, what about the name, like you could be like Guy in the 419. It was, well, that's brilliant. So I went home and
right.
Got all the domains and everything. And then just started doing it over and over. And it was working for free. I was working with a financial company at the time.
Sure.
And for 9 months, this was building, and I was trying to grow. I was trying to do both. And finally, August of 2017, I decided I've got to let one go because I'm mm-hmm. operating 50% at both, right? So one of them's got to go. And it can either be the one, they're both a risk, right? If you go into the financial world, I mean, anybody that's in the financial world, I mean,
mm-hmm.
that is not an easy business to make a career in. So they're both risky for me. But which one was I passionate about? And that was a no-brainer.
Sure.
And that was the one that I created. And so in August 2017, I launched off as a Guy in the 419 on my own as my full-time career. And it is 6 years later now. It's just been terrific.
Well, that's great. That's a great story. And it shows that if you really believe in something and you do something you're passionate about, people see that. People recognize that, and people latch onto that. One of the things, because we're doing videos, we're doing a lot of this. We've got this studio set up here, and I've had several clients that have actually seen our commercials or seen our videos out there and said, hey, I want to come talk to you because it seems like you really know and care about what you're doing. And that's why we do the video thing. I, like you, the first couple of videos I did, I set my phone up on a little tripod thing, and oh my gosh, it was horrible. It was horrible. I'm like, oh.
You do. I mean, that's the whole
You do. You have to start somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah. There's always a beginning.
So this is awesome because getting people familiar with areas out there. One of the things that I have always said, I love pizza.
Yeah, me too.
Love pizza. Yes. It's way too much. I mean, it's a downfall of mine, okay? But one of the things with my daughter traveling, my daughter played softball. You don't know this, but my daughter played softball in Kent State, and she traveled for the last 4 years, and we went to all over the countryside, right? And what I would always try to do is find an authentic pizza shop to that area. I was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and we were, I found this hole-in-the-wall dive pizza joint that was awesome. But people don't know about these things, these places.
Yeah.
And you are making them aware of that. I mean, and that's got to give you a great deal of satisfaction.
I'll tell you, the first really big success one that I had, and it was a total fluke off the wall. It was a place out in Swanton called Switchback Crossing Cafe. They're unfortunately not open anymore. But they had provided some sliders for my birthday, so I went back, I took their tote to them, and I said, hey, I really appreciate what you guys did. I said, can I make a little video? Can I make a video about your burgers and about your food? And so he made up these 2 burgers for me. Oh my God, they were probably the best I've ever had. And I put it up on a Thursday night. And I just like any other video, I just put it up. But there was something different about this one, and it blew up. I mean, it went like wildfire. It's got, you know, it had like by Sunday it had like 30,000 views.
Wow.
Reaching out to Montpelier and to Bryan and to all these places all around. They said Friday night there was a line out the door, and this was a small place. It was not a large restaurant.
Wow.
But they had a line out the door. They sold out Friday night. They got more food in on Saturday. They got sold out Saturday night, and they sold out weekend after weekend after that. They went from and their food distributor, John Beeler, great guy. John told me they went from buying $500 a week in food from him to buying $2,500 a week.
Wow.
Like quadrupled their business. And so when that happened, I thought, oh my God, like that's, you know, that was an influence that I had. And yeah, it felt great. And anytime I can do a spotlight on a business and, you know, kind of show what they, you know, who they are, what they have to offer, and it increases their business. I mean, yeah, there's no greater feeling for me.
Right.
It's terrific.
So here's a question: how do you find all of these different little places to go to?
So sometimes people will,
or do they find you?
Yes, a lot of times people they'll shoot me a message and they'll say, hey, we'd love for you to come out and try this. Which usually, you know, the first time, you know, I'll come out and try food, and we'll do like an exchange, you know, kind of a, you know, they'll provide the food for me, and I'll, you know, give them a little shout, a little video. And then hopefully the idea is that hopefully, hey, yeah, we had great success from this. We'd like to do more.
Sure.
And then they'll become an ongoing client, and then we
Okay.
can discuss all that. And so that's because a lot of times the biggest thing, the most frequently asked question I get is, how do you make a living doing this?
Yeah.
And that's exactly it, is that, you know, you gotta put yourself out there first, and then, you know, hopefully, you know, you form a good relationship. But yeah, a lot of people will reach out to me. Sometimes I'll just type it on my phone. I'll just look for something. I found a place called Casley's Kitchen. It's over on Tremainsville. I was just looking up breakfast food, and I want to take my daughter out to breakfast. She's 3, and so I looked up Casley's. Never been there, and I almost drove past it. I mean, this is you want to talk about your small hole-in-the-wall diner.
Mm-hmm.
I think now they accept credit cards, but at the time
it
was just
cash only.
only. Which I knew immediately I was going to love it. And they on the wall, and they claimed that they have the best biscuits and gravy anywhere.
Okay.
I can emphatically say yes, they do.
Wow.
I've had a lot of biscuits and gravy. They have the best. They hold the bar right now for having the best.
So that leads me to another question.
Yeah.
How are you not 400 pounds? I mean, you know, I watch some of these TV shows, and you know, these people are going on to these different diners, dives, and drive-ins or something like that, and I'm like, how in the world can you not?
Easy to do.
Eat all that food.
Well, for a while, I was doing. I was Profile by Sanford. Was a big.
Yeah.
If I had been able to stick to Profile by Sanford, I'd 60 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Because it's a great program. But it helped me to kind of maintain, and the coaches and what they were, the coaches were one of the best help with it. And actually they had said, my one coach said to me, she said, you know, when you're trying food, you don't have to eat all of it. And it's like, yeah, that's
my problem.
That's a very good point. So I never, from that point on, I don't eat the whole thing.
Sure.
I'll take it home with me. I mean, unless it's like, I try to anyway. But if I have a burger somewhere, I'll cut the burger in half, right? Eat the one half of the burger, because after a few bites, you don't have to show yourself devouring the whole thing. The one time I did with Switchback, I ate almost both burgers, and I was driving home like this, so I try my best to not eat the whole portion.
So
But
you kind of set yourself up though here. What if so I have a diner, I want you to come out. You come out, what if the food is terrible? I mean,
That's always
it's
the
like-
risk, right?
Yeah, it's a risk. I mean,
That's
you're setting
always the
yourself
risk.
up like, how do I tell this guy that you need to probably go into a different field? I mean, this food is terrible, and I mean, I know
have-
you don't do it that way, but
Yeah, I have fortunately never run into that. I've never
Wow.
had food that there was one place, and I won't mention the name, and I won't even mention where it was, but I was eating there, and it was a pizza, like a pizza buffet. You know, kind of like a Cece's.
Sure.
Cece's is the chain.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
was
yeah,
a,
right,
this
right.
was a, more of a local place, and it wasn't anywhere here in town. But the food, it wasn't great. Now I love pizza.
yeah.
I don't. Well, I won't say what I say about pizza, but anyway, ask me when we're off air.
All right, all
Ask
right.
me, shoot me a message, and I'll tell you my thoughts on pizza. I love pizza though, and it wasn't bad, right? But it wasn't. I would never say, "Oh, this is
Right,
ridiculously good
Yep.
pizza." You know, like Stubborn Brother. Have you ever had their pizza?
Well, I have.
Oh,
I have.
Man, they're good. I could go on with all the pizza places that I love.
That's another show.
Yeah, that's a
because
whole
I'll
other- I could
jump
just-
right in with you
just
on
make
that
me
one.
listing every
Oh, yeah.
list of like 100 different pizza places. So what I said in the video was, wow, look at all the different varieties of pizza they have.
There you go.
They sure have a lot of different. But there have been times that I've told people, one of them was a biscuits and gravy, and I said, I'll be honest with you, the biscuits were dry. They felt taste a little stale. You guys might want to consider,
Sure.
I'll try to give positive if it requires it. I'll give positive feedback. And unfortunately, there was one place that I had to stop doing business with.
Wow.
Because they just weren't delivering on the quality of food that I was putting out there. And with this, I mean, I've built up. That's a trusted, over the past 5 or 6 years.
Putting your name on
Putting
something
my name on that.
means a lot to you.
100%,
And
100%.
credibility with everybody listening and watching. I mean,
Right.
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So as you well know, we're in the health and financial business here at America's Retirement Headquarters. That's what we do. We help people. Tell me a little bit about a couple of the foundations that you do with the Youth Financial Initiative and the Fire Starters Club.
Yes.
Tell me what those are all about.
Okay, so this is really cool. This is a newer thing that I teamed up with a guy by the name of Rick Allen. He's the creator behind an app called Kazubi.
Okay.
And Kazubi is a really, really cool app. At its base, it's a foundation. It's a coupon app, right? But it aligns perfectly with what I do because it's encouraging people to go out and eat at different places, right? Or shop local. And so it's a free app. You can sign up for free. But we've taken it a step further. And what we've done is we have, when Kazubi goes to a merchant, when somebody uses a coupon, Kazubi charges $1.50 to the merchant, right? Kazubi keeps 50 cents of that. And 50 cents, if you go on, you can sign up for free and you can sign your kid up. And so, like I have my on mine, Michael, Julia, Jack, every time I use that coupon, they get kicked 50 cents. So Kazubi takes $1.50 of that $1.50, they take 50 cents and they give it to whatever kid you have on there.
Oh, wow.
So now I can take that link and I can send it out to all my family and friends and say, hey, download it. It'll take them right to the app. It'll download it. But when they download it, it'll have that kid's name on there.
Okay.
So every time they use a coupon, doesn't matter where it is, how frequently they use it, every time they use it, that kid gets kicked 50 cents.
Okay.
So the idea is that what we're doing is we're creating this passive income for these kids. Now the third 50 cents, and this is where the Youth Financial Initiative comes in. That third 50 cents gets donated to the Youth Financial Initiative.
Okay.
The Youth Financial Initiative's primary purpose is to fund and facilitate financial literacy courses for children. So the Fire Starter movement,
Huge.
I'm so excited about this because we want to set the kids on fire here in our area.
Yeah.
And all over the world, we want to set kids on fire, right? FIRE stands for Financially Independent, Retire Early. And so coming up in June, we have our first, what we're going to do is we're going to meet twice a month.
Okay.
And it'll be our little group. And the great thing about this is anybody can say, hey, can I start up my own group? 100%. And you don't have to buy into it. It doesn't cost any money because it's fully funded by the Youth Financial Initiative, which gets all of its funding from people using coupons and supporting the local economy. So
That's
it is this
fantastic.
constant circle. I mean, it's so cool. So we have the Fire Starter. We have kids 6 to 8. That's our Embers group. We have 9 to 12, that's the campfires, and then 13 to 18, that's Inferno. So with each group, especially the 6 to 8 year olds, we're not delving. I mean, James, is that who was just sitting here?
Jeremy,
who was just in here. That's great for people who understand, to listen, but kids obviously aren't going to understand this.
Exactly.
So what we're going to do is we're going to tackle it just by playing games, right? Starting to plant those seeds of understanding. Showing them, hey, the magic ice cream shop. You got one scoop of ice cream, but wait. If you wait 2 minutes, another scoop of ice cream appears. Look at that. Wait. Don't eat it just yet. If you wait 2 more minutes, watch what happens. And then boom, there's 4 scoops of ice cream. Wow. And all get really excited. That's the magic of compounding.
Sure.
The big thing that we want to teach people is the time value of money, right? If you can get your kids started at an early, even 1 or 2 years old, right? Put their name on Kazubi and have that passive income coming in on a regular basis, and then take that money and instead of, if you want to collect a check from it, you can. We honestly, we can't tell people what to do with that money once they have it. But our hope is that what they'll do is they'll just set up like a Roth IRA and have it directly funneled every single month into this Roth IRA, building this income stream for them. Think of what they'll be able to do by the time they're 18 years old.
Absolutely.
If they started once they're a newborn or something like that.
Yeah.
And so the whole idea is we're going to teach these kids just through half-hour fun get-togethers twice a month, make it fun and exciting for them. Teach them. So the 3 tenets are financial education, financial application. That's taking that money from Kazubi and applying it. And then the third pillar is community outreach. So once they have this money coming in, like, hey, how can we give back to our community?
Sure.
What can we do to, support those in need? What, however they want to do it. The great thing is as a group, they get to decide.
That is fantastic. I heard on the radio the other day where one of the areas that we're really drastically lacking in this country is educating our youth on exactly what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
They have no idea the concept of money. They don't understand the value of a dollar.
Right.
Exactly. I get home and my stepdaughter says, "Hey, can we go to Cold Stone?" Well, it's $4.50 a gallon of gas, and we drive over there, and you're going to spend $5-6 for ice cream. It's like, are you going to pay for that? And they just don't get that.
Well, see, so that's the great thing. So I would encourage parents, instead of saying no, say, yeah, absolutely. But how are we paying for this?
Right.
So now if they have this, if they're, maybe they're signed up on Kazubi, maybe they're getting this. Okay, but understand that you have $10 here. Are you, you can, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to spend your money on. But once it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
So are you sure that's what, and maybe help give kids that second, that's what I really, really want to teach kids, that kind of break them out of this mode of instant gratification.
Yes,
I want that,
absolutely.
so I need to spend it right now. Right.
Yep.
But yeah, we don't, I don't think that we're doing a great job teaching kids exactly this. And so they go to, what do? They go to college and they're faced with an average of $40,000 of debt.
Absolutely.
And they enter into a career in which they have absolutely no hope of paying that off. And so if we can throw a wrench in that, that's our goal. If we can throw, Governor Mike DeWine has put into, actually said by 2024, schools have to be teaching a financial literacy course.
Yeah.
They have to.
And they should.
So absolutely. So if we can help with that, if there's any way that we can help, get even those seeds planted. So by the time that they, not only are they having a fun time learning it, but they associate learning financial. Try to teach a kid financial literacy right now at the age of 15. They're going to glaze over.
The glaze, yeah. We, a couple of shows ago, we actually had Andrew Nolan's son on, and he's going to his second year at Bowling Green. And we talked about that. We talked about the 529 plans. We talked about, the grandparents or the parents putting money aside and getting them through that college. Because, I was very fortunate. I'm very, very lucky that my daughter had a softball scholarship, so I didn't have to worry about that. But we talked about how there's so many things outside of the cost of education. They had a meal plan. Well, my daughter never spent a meal plan because she went out with all of her friends to Taco Bell. I don't want to, like I said before, I don't want to know what all was going on. But, Pat, I think that is awesome. I love what you're doing with that because that is an area that I feel is lacking mightily in society today and these young kids. I think it's an education process.
Yes,
Because it's one
100%.
thing to say, hey, I got $10, and like you said, the immediate gratification of saying, yeah, I want that ice cream right now, and it takes my account down to $3. They don't care about that.
Right.
And I think that's an area that we really need to expand on. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it. I know we're coming to the end of the show here. Is there any place you want to plug that is your best restaurant? I don't know if you can do that or not.
Man. I that's like asking who your favorite child is. I mean, there's so many good ones. But
I can answer that for me. No, I'm just kidding.
there are so many good restaurants. One thing I would encourage people to do is check out every Monday night. We air a segment called Tastiest in Town.
Yes.
Which we go through. I know we find out next month is going to be chicken wings. So we're going out to, I think, one of the most underrated restaurants in our area. That's what I'll say. I want you to say this the best. I'll say one of the most underrated is Frogtown Johnny's.
Okay.
Frogtown Johnny's
Been there.
has the new owner, Rob Kelm. He has made a shift. He wants to be known for having great food. They were in the running for Best Burger. And they have a really good burger. They won Best Reuben. They have, according to the judges, we have a panel of 5 judges that come in.
Sure.
I'm not a judge. I don't do that. That's, I leave it up to them. I just host. And then, and they're in the running. They're in the running for Best Chicken Wings.
Wow.
So they have really good food. If I'm going to give a plug to one place, that's the place I would definitely recommend.
Awesome.
Now, you can join me for bingo there at 9:00 tonight.
There you go.
Every Wednesday
Cool.
night at 9:00, I host bingo at Frogtown Johnny's. Come and try some of their food and have a drink.
So one thing that I failed to mention, and I should, and I apologize for this, I want to congratulate you on winning the Best in Toledo award.
Thank you very much.
Good for you. That's
I was
awesome.
shocked. I didn't go out there and say, hey, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me, or anything. So I was honestly shocked that,
Well, that's
that
awesome.
we got that.
Well, thank you again. Chris,
Thank
did you have any questions real quick? I know we're coming up to the end of the show.
No, I think it's a great thing. I think both from the the financial literacy for kids, because we talk all the time how it's never really too early to get serious about your retirement, even at that young age. But also solving the question of what am I going to do for dinner tonight, because that can be a battle in and of itself. So
Yes, it is.
noble cause.
Yeah, that's the advantage of having that's the other advantage of having the Kazubi app.
Yeah.
Is you just go on and you can look at the restaurants that are right by you. Check
Cool.
out something new.
There you go. So make sure you get that app. Go to guyinthe419.com. Real easy to figure out. And then, if you want more education, if you have questions about things that we talked about on the show from the financial side, not necessarily, what you're going to do this weekend, but unless that is getting serious about your retirement, americasretirementheadquarters.com is the website, and the phone number, 419-794-3030. I said at the beginning of the show, I want to go ahead and close with it. We appreciate you spending part of your day with us. Hope whatever you have lined up for the rest of the week is great and safe. And Scott, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with the final word.
Well, thank all the listeners and the viewers out there, and have a great weekend.